Good evening, guys. Tonight we will have the debate for the undergraduate school. And tonight with us, there will be Alessandro from B-Lab and Tommaso from Team. First of all, I want to present myself. I'm from Bocconi2021, and we will host this debate tonight. You will find briefly resume of the tonight's debate on the website trileoni.it. And first of all, I want to ask you to present you and your list very briefly when you want. Maybe Tommaso, you can start, and then Alessandro.
Okay, sure. So, hi everyone. My name is Tommaso Locatelli, third-year CLEM student. And next year we'll start the Master in Finance. So I'm here as a representative of all our undergraduate team. And so talking to myself, I'm the president of Bocconi Students for Wellness and the public speaker of Bocconi Chinese Student Association and an associate of IBISA, so Investment Banking International Student Association. So I am a charismatic, determined, energetic team leader and an excellent mediator. My motto is, and I think you heard it, that you have to make a lot of noise to be heard. So talking about the university, I strongly believe that the Bocconi community needs representatives with a more international and work-related approach. So that's why I decided to run for the Undergraduate School Council to be personally responsible for the changes and improvements that must be made to make this university the #1 in the world. So I thank you guys of Bocconi TV for giving us the opportunity to express ourselves, me, Alessandro, but also all the other candidates. So I can't wait to start this debate. So I leave the floor to Alessandro now.
Perfect. Alessandro, you can go.
Thank you so much. Firstly, presenting myself, my name is Alessandro Allò. I'm a second-year CLEM student. Thanks to Bocconi2021 for hosting this debate. It's really important for us, for the representation in general. I'm a second-year CLEM student for which I've been class and course representative for both 2 years so far. So I can say that I've been class representative since the first day of representation and first day at university. I've decided to candidate to run for the Undergraduate School of Council for B-Lab, for Ashraf Fadel at the board of directors, because I strongly believe that nowadays B-Lab, I actually keen on represent. Actually, I'm quite. I'm looking for. Sorry, guys. Because I strongly believe that the mission and the vision of B-Lab. I think that B-Lab is association of representation that really looks and stays aside of the students during those years. B-Lab has been at the board of directors for 10 years and gave the possibility and the proof of what is really able to do. So actually, I'm quite happy to be here and to run for B-Lab for the Undergraduate School of Council. Actually, talking about me, I'm really fond of watching Formula One, and I'm interested in politics, and also philosophy was one of my preferred subject in university. So actually, then we can just start this debate. So thank you so much.
Thank you both. Well, I'd start with a question. How do you think our university could implement Bboard and all the different online facilities we are provided with? You can start, Alessandro.
Okay. First of all, we all know that Blackboard is not a platform made by Bocconi, but we all know as well that we can implement Blackboard, we can improve Blackboard platform as well. The first problem that I would like to mention, and it's quite common to everyone, is that sometimes when we wait for the grades at 19, actually we know that USB platform is usually crashes. So I think that maybe adding the grades on Blackboard could be a good way to maybe avoid this problem. And at the same time, another point that could be discussed is about the recorded lesson For students, they watch recorded lesson during this pandemic, but I hope also during the next years. Actually, we can give them the possibility to switch when the professor shares more than one contact, to switch from one contact to another. At the same time, another point is that could be implemented an instant chat on Respondus during the exams, to give the possibility to students to have an efficient and more efficient and instant connection and communication with the teachers and assistants. And we can also move to another part, not only Blackboard, but also the online facilities. For example, having an email filter to divide unwanted emails from interesting and more important ones. And as well, a more customization of the calendar in order to add extra activities and such as, for example, debates, but also sports and other activities related to the university and not only to the university. And that's a great point of our program, is about making a new application, a better application that can include all the facilities that Bocconi provide us. For example, MyPrint, Punto Blue directly in one application, to have a free and more efficient access to all these facilities.
Okay, perfect. Now, Tommaso.
Okay, so yeah, Alessandro, I see you have many proposals. So from our standpoint of view, less is more sometimes. So I want to link to what you just said. So your second point was about recorded lessons. Yeah, we talked about that a lot, of course, but since our topics are general and common interests between undergraduate and of course also graduate school, we prefer to deal with them with the department for didactics. So staying very close to your question, Pasquale, I want to talk about thesis resources on Blackboard. Okay. So I'm a third-year student, and as anyone else, I think that making thesis resources available as an extracurricular course on Blackboard should be really helpful for us, so that students have easy access to material, including resources from the library, for example, guidelines on bibliography, and also other resources such as the databases. And this is not just one thing that we could achieve having the thesis resources on Blackboard, but we can also have like another pros, and that could be to have more specifics and advantages when we have to start creating assignments and group projects. So we have one same platform in which we can find those evident things, and we can share with other students. So that's our first point, thesis resources on Blackboard. We also want to give final year students access to a database that collects bachelor theses, for which both the supervising professor, of course, and the students have given authorization to publish. Because every time, we have seen during the COVID pandemic period, we had to ask for permission and having 1 hour for like giving a look at the thesis, and we don't think that's really a resource. Okay, and also talking about something that Alessandro said, because we are on a debate, so we are going to debate what the other part said. So yeah, I don't see why email filter to divide interesting from non-interesting things. How can you do that? So that's my first question. Another one is the instant chat to Respondus. I see that there are many problems with the Respondus platform. And also when you pick up the phone and call the support, they didn't even answer sometimes. So that's a point we can also discuss together. But I think the conversation with a chat could be very noisy, and also when you are doing an exam, I don't think many people can get back to you. So yeah, I wanna leave you with these points. So these resources on Blackboard to help students for 3 years to have something in common. So Blackboard should be implemented in this way.
Perfect. Can I reply? Right?
Yeah. You can. You
Okay.
can reply.
First point about your reply about the thesis resources are they are not they cannot be integrated in Blackboard because they are banche dati. They are dates. They cannot be implemented in Blackboard. First point. Second point about the mail filters. Actually, many times when I wake up at 7 a.m. or just in the middle of the night, I receive many emails about association in general that are not so interesting for many students as well. So, for example, I don't know if you know libero.it. There are section, spam section, but also other section filters of email, just to divide the interesting one and the useless ones. And for the point about the instant chat, I think that it should be asked to Bocconi to add it because it could be useful. And at the same time, we have not discussed yet to the university. And if these modalities of exams will continue in the future and the next semester, they should find a way to avoid the students from using smartphone and wasting time during an exam. Maybe adding an instant touch to an assistant, maybe not only the professor, but also an assistant that helps you to find a solution to the problem that you are facing during exam.
Okay, perfect. I will go with another question now about the internships for undergraduate students. And what do you think that should be improved? How do you think the communication between students and companies can be incremented, in your opinion? Tommaso, you can start now.
Okay, so just to be very quick on this and very schematic, I have 3 points. We have 3 points on our program. So the first one is about in-company training. So increment communication and organization of in-company trainings for undergraduate students, increasing the offer of opportunities specifically aimed at undergraduate students, because now JobGate is structured and there's no distinction between graduate and undergraduate. So this could be extremely useful, especially for activities related to international organizations, NGOs, and research-related employers. Another thing that I want to say is about investment banking week. So now is held in October, and I don't know if you know, but like investment banks open their applications recruitment process in late August, start of September. So our proposal is to organize the investment banking week at the beginning of September, giving students more preparatory material. So this is a second point, more preparatory material during July and August. Even in the first year, that's gonna be able for students to be ready for the application, because when the application process starts, we have to be ready. We can't just wait until October and then, that's it. The people already have done their application. Another point is the mock interviews. So I've done many of mock interviews, but they were all in Italian. So we want to introduce the possibility to have mock interviews in English also for Italian-speaking students, because the problem is that all the international organizations asks us to speak in English. So why do we have all to experience ourselves with a digital mock interview if it's not in the same language we're going to find on the recruitment process? So not just this, but we also want to give the possibility to express a preference for a specific company and sector from motivational letter to allow for a better matching with the interest of the candidate. So if I want to do an internship for one company and I just want to do a digital mock interview, if I match their requirements, I can express my desire with a cover letter or a simple expression of my will. So these are the 3 points to stay in the minutes.
Before leaving the path to Alessandra, I would remind everyone that you can do questions on the chat, on the live chat on YouTube to the candidates if you want to ask anything to them. They will be pleased to answer you. Well, what's your point, Alessandro? here.
Okay. Actually, I would like to get inside the mind of a first or a second year student. That's sometimes when we just go into the JobGate platform in UFB, we just don't find many offers by the companies to these students because they requires some experience. You know, maybe third year, but also graduate students have this experience, but the first and second year they don't have. So we think that they should be implemented more offers by the companies that they don't require experiences to these students. So first year and second year could have the possibility to have a first experience in a company. Another point that I would like to add is the job alert. We think about a job alert. We upload on UFB our CV and our GPA, and when an offer is available on JobGate, we can receive an alert from the UFB, but also in the email, in which Bocconi will give us the notification about the application of a company that is looking for maybe for a position that is interesting for us. And another point that I know that graduate students in Master of Science or Master of Science have are group work with the companies. We think that maybe we can have also some workshop with the business, with the companies to prepare ourselves for the application and for the cover letter as well. I just remind that, for example, the first year there is the spring week session, and maybe we can be prepared more by the university, but also with this workshop, with the workshop with the companies to be prepared for this application.
Okay, perfect. Before going on, there is a question in the chat. Then Gabriele Bernan is writing, databases can be incorporated without problems in a Blackboard page. There are no IT limits from this point of view. How would you answer to this question? What can you say?
Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to reply, guys, but then, you know, we knew we had some short times, so I didn't get it. So yeah, I leave the floor to Alessandro, and then.
Okay. There are the rights of author of both the student and the professor. So they are available on the library, but I think that it cannot possible to be implemented in Blackboard, but or in maybe course reserve in the library. Yes, because there is a right of author. Yes.
I want to add something.
You can add.
You know, as I said before, we want to give final year students access to the database that collects this kind of thesis, for which both the supervising professor and students have given authorization to publish.
Okay.
So with the authorization, the province goes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's perfect, because there is a limit of the price of the privacy. So yes.
Sure.
Okay. Well, we can go on, and the question is now, what can be made to make the exchange experience the best possible, and meanwhile the easiest possible from a bureaucratic point of view? You can start, Alessandro.
Okay, I would like to start from the beginning of our exchange experience. So the course reserve, the course history, and the first part of an experience of exchange. So finding a university. We all know that the course reserve are obsolete and not up to date so far. So we think that course history has to be implemented more, and at the same time, also the reports made by the students can be implemented by adding information not only of the university, but also of the, for example, the city, and information, important information that the student can have the right to have before going to before choosing that university. At the same time, when you are abroad, when you are in a university, there is a tutor that will help you during all the semester and your permanence in that university. But we have seen during this COVID situation that many tutors were doing ghosting to students. So I think that could be even more implemented, but also get better this the figure of the ghost of the tutor in general. And then another point that many people sometimes decide not to go to have an exchange experience is the conversation of exams. That is an important topic for us. And for example, there is an exam called EGIF in CLEF. They could not be cannot be converted to a foreign university, but at the same time we cannot do it during the first semester, and many students cannot. They decide not to go to the university, to the exchange university, because of it. So we can probably ask the university to make it possible to take the exam on the first semester, as we do, for example, in CLEAM with diritto commerciale and scienze delle finanze. Another point that I would like to mention that is since yesterday is entered into our detto fatto is that since yesterday the foreign transcript, we all know that if we want to graduate in July, we have to receive the transcript, the transcript of all the grades from the foreign university until the mid of June. Since yesterday, we can graduate in July, receiving this transcript also in July. So it's a detto fatto that yesterday we got it in the baggings. So okay. I leave the word to Tommaso.
Yeah, Tommaso.
Thank you, Alessandro.
What would you say about this point?
Yeah, thank you, Pasquale. So first thing that I have to mention is that we decided as a team to add it in a more generic program of the departments that works on didactic program, as we think it's something that could easily be approached for both the undergraduate and graduate school. So we think that collaboration is the first thing that has to be done to implement all the facilities in Bocconi University. And, you know, I just want to point out something about Bocconi, because I think we are really in a good place, and Bocconi has all the platforms, all the tools for us to use. But the point is, we really have too much, and it's not well structured. So regarding this point for the exchange program, of course, I agree with Alessandro when the course history is not well organized. So a student has to be clear and has to be aware of what the courses will be in the university for the exchange. So that has, of course, to be revisited and implemented as soon as possible. Because when you want to go abroad, you have to be sure about some things, and because you will be there in another country and you want to have all established before and don't worry about it again. So we think exchange students, you know, for the year abroad, the 6 months abroad, should continue to have access to recorded lessons for those courses they can't attend in presence, but also for those students doing a curricular internship and those with health problems, because who knows what happens, and we can see it from this COVID period. So yeah, I want to leave you with this idea that we need to collaborate more, not only by the undergraduate team, but also with the graduate one. So this problem is more general and common to both the school councils.
Yeah. Now I want to make a question, a specific question to you, Tommaso, about your program, because we have read it. And in your program, I can read the point gap year. Can you explain us more in details? What do you mean by it? Because maybe it's not clear.
Sure. Thank you for saying this, because it was one of the points that I wanted to discuss later in the 2 minutes. So actually, gap year, we think it's really a good idea. And we see it also in international universities abroad. So what happens with the gap year? So it is a deferred admission process for final year undergraduate students whereby they can secure a place in the master programs that will start 1 year after their graduation. But of course, we can guarantee this to anyone, but just to those, so with a conditional offer to those who will take part in a 4-month work experience. So the point of the gap year is to have some elements, students in the master programs that have gained some experiences during that year, and that could be a boost on the CV of someone. So we want to give the security, the safety place for anyone who can apply now and have the place 1 year deferred. So we think that's a really great point to approve.
Okay.
Thank you, Pasquale, for mentioning it.
Thank you too. Instead, to Alessandro, I wanted to ask something about the freshman experience. So first year students know really a little about university, and in your opinion, what can be done to encourage them to enter the campus life, which I think that is one of the best experience at university. This is my first year, and I think that the campus life is one of the best experience. So how can be done from the representative point of view to improve their life at university?
Actually, after this replying to your question, I would like to add something to what Tommaso just said before. Actually, I know that nowadays many freshmen are they are deciding to go to Bocconi, and I'm quite happy about it. I've the opportunity to met them during the presentation of the CLEAM course, and I think that Bocconi is doing a great job about knowing that itself to all the Italian high schools, but also abroad. We as BLAB, we organized many the week of Welcome Week with events in collaboration also with Bocconi in the past years. But we organized the BLAB to the Park at the start of the first semester, in which many freshmen always go to the park, to Ravizza, and they have the opportunity to meet new students, new people, and at the same time, for example, the beer pong tournament that we organize during the academic year. Unfortunately, because of the COVID situation, we also organized some online meeting, and we have the opportunity really to be close to the students, the freshman students, since the beginning of their experience. So we give them the possibility to really know with themselves, at the same time to give them support to the first days of university.
Okay, and you wanted to reply something to Tommaso, to what Tommaso said. You can, if you
because
want.
Actually I've read your program of 2 years ago, and that point I think that was in your 2 years ago program, electoral program. So you didn't actually you hadn't the possibility to make it possible. So how you can now do this again? How you will be able to make it happen so far?
Yeah, sure. I have a quick question for you. So did you actually see that the COVID pandemic was like in all Italy? Yeah, that's a really fun question. No, so we think that important things needs to be, compulsory in the program. So until one thing is achieved, you leave it there. Because if you really trust in something, you can do it. And the perspective for which I also, ran for the Undergraduate Student Council with team, because team always aim at the long term. So what would be, my integrity if I say, okay, they didn't achieve it, so I will leave it there. So that can be done. So we really think it's an important matter, as also the other points that I expressed before. So we think that we can achieve it, and I will put all my effort into it if, of course, I will be voted. So this is a point. And another point that I want to add something about the freshman year. So Pasquale, you asked Alessandro about it. I want to add something. So I really think that as a university, when they received the application and they talk to the ones that got accepted, so what can happen there? So I think that Bocconi can deliver some modules prior to the entrance in the Bocconi world, so to freshman year, so that they can be more aware about what's coming. Because for me it was like this, I had no material whatsoever to go and look about Bocconi University. So if I had known before, of course I would have used some tools better. So I think if we can give them these things that we can see now, because I'm in my third year and I know what has to be done to be the perfect candidate, that could be help anyone. So that's my kind of answer to the question you referred to, Alessandro.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
A question to Alessandro about the visit in your program. In your opinion, is it possible in our university, and how would it work, something like that?
We all know that in our university, we cannot refuse the votes, the grades in general. And that's a policy that I personally respect, and I think that's right. And but at the same time, sometimes people after an exam that they think that was going well, at the point when they receive the grades, they find, for example, 21, 20, and they maybe have good grades and good GPA, 29, 30, something like that. And actually, I think that Bocconi has to give an opportunity to students to retake an exam in order maybe to adjust one exam during their academic career, in order to maybe get back from their mistake and retake the exam to get it better, maybe.
I'm really interested in this, Alessandro. So how would you structure it? Like these things, would you give to all students the possibility to retake one specific exam, or more than one? What would you do? So
no, actually,
because we have 5 exams, what would you do?
A specific exam of your entire academic career. Maybe, for example, if an exam of the first year, you got a bad mark to an exam and you want to retake it because that exam was actually ruining your GPA, you can do it. You can retake the exam, just one exam during your entire academic career.
Just one, okay.
Just one, yes.
Okay. And instead, to Tommaso, I wanted to ask something about also something that is in team program. In the final work part, you have mentioned something about a one-day seminar. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, sure. I will be very quick because it's an easy one. So the one-day seminar is also linked to the thesis. So as a third-year student, I see we have the tools like this guide for writing a thesis, but we don't see it very useful. So we want to organize a meeting in which the details around the bachelor thesis are explained. So the event will be similar to the one dedicated to the exchanges that happens in the second year. So preferably there will be a meeting per semester in the final year to target the students that are both on and off the exchange. So this is the meaning of the one-day seminar for the thesis. But what I really wanted to talk about, if I may, Pasquale, tell me if I can talk about it. Okay, so it's a question that I will also want to ask to Alessandro, but then I will explain our view first. So, how Bocconi evaluate students? So I think this is a very big question for us to explain. So what we want to change about it, is it true? Is it right? What we can do about it? So we think that it is essential to add the modalities that are regarding like group project and assignments to better align ourselves with the international environment, so international universities, and reduce the gap on dealing with these topics in the work environment, because there's a big difference between our method and the international one. So we clearly want to implement a method that can guarantee students to receive their grades before the time in which you can sign up for the exam sessions. And it is also a point mentioned by the departments, because as I said before, it's a common topic for the undergraduate and graduate school. But if I can go more in depth about it, I could talk about the admission criteria for the Master of Science. For example, we can add a score to the score computed on the academic curriculum, a quantitative evaluation of the extracurricular activities. For example, we know they use a cover letter that is evaluated on a scale out of 10 for the exchange programs and the double degrees. So to better account for the motivation of the candidate, because we really think that one person is unique and different to others. So we could extend the way students for CHEMS and China MEM are evaluated to all the other courses. We as the universities, of course, value those students with a top grade mark. Okay, so the guy with 31 out of 30 is very well seen by the university. But, you know, we also think it would be right to start considering more DCV, internship experiences, extracurricular activities, such as being part of an association, an active part, of course, and voluntary activities. So we could give students the possibility to implement their application by, for example, uploading a video interview, as it already happens in the job market recruitment process. So it's something they will also see in the next months. So I think that the main point is that as the university is walking down the path of becoming more international, as also we see it with more courses in English, more presence in the market, it wouldn't make any sense if we keep improving JobGate and in company training without also adapting our grades modalities. So this is a point where I also find myself very attached to, and I think it's very important to implement. And I also...
Alessandro, what can you say about this point?
I can say that I totally agree with the proposal of Tommaso, and I think that we should implement the CV and the cover letter to all the application for the master's and the graduate school. After that, we know that many students that go outside Bocconi for the exchange program, they find really useful the lessons and the courses that implements group work, and at the same time also the assignment that give the possibility to students to build the grade during the semester and not only by a final mark of an exam. So thanks to the pandemic, we can say that Bocconi is going to that way. In fact, many courses nowadays for this semester are implementing assignment, in-class test, group work, in which students can have the possibility to really build the grade during that semester. Actually, I think that you are saying most of what we are writing on the program, because also another point was that you mentioned about the flexible teaching. We have published the program maybe 2 hours ago, and was added in the program too. So yeah, I totally agree with your proposal, but we have written them also on our program. So yeah.
Okay,
that's good. That's good.
Do you have something more to ask to the other candidates about whatever you think? I don't know. If you have some question to the other candidate, you can do them now.
Yeah, I would let Alessandro go, because I think I don't want to, ask a question, because we already have the debate. So it's just one good luck if we will see each other, in the undergraduate student council together. And I really want to collaborate not only with team partners, but also BLab, because I think we can share this community team building. So yeah, this is my good luck to you.
Yeah, me too. I hope that this election will go well to both of us. Actually, I think that the most important thing is not being elected for the council, but I think I know that all the candidates of BLab are quite able to really achieve what we have written on our program. I'm quite happy of all the squad, the group that we made up to win these elections. So really, thanks to the Bocconi-TV, thanks to Tommaso as well for having this debate, clear debate, really useful for students in order to really express their votes, having 360 degrees points of what we will try to achieve during these 2 years.
Okay, perfect. I just want to thank you both for your participation to this debate, and I wish you really good luck for the election. And I remind everyone else that there will be other debates for other schools and other departments in the next days, always with the Bocconi-TV. And I remember another time to you that the resume of this debate will be available on the Traleoni website. So you can find whatever you want on them. And I thank you again, and I wish you will have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Goodbye, guys. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.